definitely didn't work.
What plan is that?
The one where I banged the panic right out of you?
I mean, that's the question.
What's up, Sunday family? Welcome back to another episode of Watching Sundays. Tonight, we saw The Magicians, episode 8, 6 short stories about magic, or
Yes.
about magicians, or about
It was
magic.
6 short stories about magic.
And I thought this was an amazing episode.
I thought that you were going to go down the deep end and, give us another, this wasn't another action-packed filled episode. I was ready to
Defend it?
Yeah, I was getting ready to defend it and contradict you.
Well, believe it or not, it was really, really awesome because there was enough intrigue in there, and that moment where everything, all the audio
Yes.
got turned down, I was like, wait. I was looking at my remote control, I was like pumping up my volume, and then all of a sudden I heard like the little decibel that was...
the low end.
Yeah, the low end of it. And it made sense because it was about Harriet, and she's deaf, and... it was through her perspective, and I thought it was amazing. It brought me back to
a great filming technique.
It was just it just blew my mind because it reminded me of playing Metal Gear Solid back in the day where you had to switch the controller to the second port. So,
that's right. I forgot
remember
about
that part.
Yeah.
It was just.
It kind of felt like I was watching a silent movie, but it didn't have those subtitles, and the soundtrack was like,
yeah,
the subtitle. Oh, he knocks her out with I think he was, or he just knocked her out with his hand. The guy that works for the library who knocked out Harriet.
Who knocked out Harriet?
When she was escaping through the mirror bridge.
Oh, well,
knocked her out, and then took the briefcase and threw her back into the mirror bridge, and then
that was a sad moment. I thought.
I'm wondering.
I think they're either trapped or they're dead.
Well, they can't.
They're in that mirror bridge.
Mirror bridge. I think they're stuck, and I think it's another case of what Penny's going through, where he's kind of stuck in the astral plane. He has no way to go back, and so with I guess the 2 mirrors that they were using, the math that went into it, since that's shattered. They're stuck. There's gonna be a way to get them back. I don't think they're eternally lost.
I don't know, because her mom, the head librarian.
Yes, which was a great revelation.
I know, that was really awesome. I had no idea they were mom and daughter.
Yeah. And I thought we were gonna get a duel.
Well, no, I don't think that would have ever happened because deep down inside, they love each other. But she let out a scream. A yell right before the traveler broke the mirror. It almost seemed
scream.
You couldn't hear it because it was Harriet's perspective, but it almost seemed like it could have been the death of her daughter.
Yeah, very much so. In addition to the way they filmed Harriet's story, it seemed like an episode that allowed them to explore a lot of people's perspectives and backstories, or just in general what's going on with them. Just, without any intertwining interruptions, just okay, boom, Penny, this is what's happening with him. Boom, Poppy, this is what's happening with them. And so the episode was filmed and edited really well, and from a technical standpoint, it's probably the best episode that they filmed. Technically, from a technical standpoint.
I would say this is the second best episode of the season. But I just really appreciated how, this episode had an author. It was the white-haired witch Alice,
right? Cassandra Alice,
whatever. Yeah, and she was just penning the whole storyline, and
that's an interesting angle to also kind of explore. Is the books about everyone and who writes them?
Exactly.
And then in this episode, we find out that
so many mysteries, so many loopholes. That's why this episode really intrigued me, because there seems to be something behind everything.
This was a huge treat for lore masters, for magicians. Just diving into, we make this connection. It's a full circle. Harriet has this, hidden agenda with the librarians. We find out it's her mom that's a head librarian, and they have this whole history that stems from her going to break bills, and it's just massive history that's being revealed in this episode from all angles, from these 6 short stories.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah, I agree. It overshadowed just about anything else that happened in the episode. What's her name comes through snorting too much of that fairy dust.
Oh, well, it didn't really overshadow. I thought that was a great revelation too. The whole, like, when Irene said specifically to Julia that it's like powder coming from this magical creature, we come to find out she's
Coming
freaking
from a fairy.
Yeah, she's like all
decapitating them.
Hannibal Lecter on all of these fairies trying to get
Yeah.
their dust.
And remember the last couple episodes when that was first introduced, this fairy cocaine?
Yes.
I did say if you do consume a little too much of that stuff,
Right, you did say
it'll
that.
lead you down a dangerous path. And obviously there is some consequences.
And it looks like Irene is a junkie.
A junkie, and looks like she's becoming a leper slowly but surely.
Yes, and I think that's also kind of like it goes hand in hand with the consequences of her using too much, but it's also kind of a reflection of her deep dive into becoming a monster. The way she's like, dissecting these fairies for their dust.
There might be a really good reason why the fairies in Fillory are, so mad, or like,
Or the fairies and humans.
Yeah, the fairies have so much against humans. Maybe there's this big ass history of like enslaving the fairy world.
There's definitely a huge history, especially coming from that slave Sky, who was saying there's no more fairies. So it's kind of like
Maybe there was this like
this extinction level event that she escaped, but then the fairies recovered, and now they're like all over Fillory and
these
stuff.
damn magicians, man, they're not all that good.
Yeah. So what would you give the episode?
I would just give it a 5 out of 5.
I would give it, yes. This is probably
just because it's not the best episode. I still think Life in the Day was the best episode, but
Right.
I mean this would come in second, but that doesn't mean it deserves a lower score.
I don't think they need to compete. I think
This was great. I
I
love
think
this episode.
both of these episodes, A Life in a Day and 6 short stories, both deserve a 5.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it a 5.
Let's
right?
give it a 5. And it looks like the next episode is gonna be one big musical, like, party bash.
It kind of mirrored Legion's sort of Indian musical
I've never seen
episode. If you haven't seen Legion, watch Legion on FX if you can find any way to watch it. Just the things that they did in that, if you know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comment section below. The next episode looks like a huge Legion homage with the musical elements and the dancing and stuff like that. And it just looks crazy.
Yeah, I'm expecting like a La La Land-esque.
You could say that as well,
episode,
yes.
So we shall see. What did you guys think about this episode? We give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, so let us know in the comment section below what you thought of this episode. Was it better than A Life in the Day? Was it the best? Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Magicians. Bye, guys.